Shalom, shalom, Israel. Today, I will be your motivational speaker for today. To write to me, I got my wonderful reader, Ira.
Shalom, shalom.
Today, we're going to talk about the concepts of war, spiritual war, every variation of war, whether it's spiritual war, physical war, mental war, all aspects of war. Because we grew up in a society when they told us our seven deadly sins was our complexion. But jokes is on them because melanin is worth more than gold. Now everybody want a piece of this chocolate from all flavors. Whether you dark skin, brown skin, everybody want this piece of this chocolate. And I'm here to tell every black person you are beautiful and you're crowned king and queen. Whether you believe it or not. But your biggest enemy is the inner me. And in order for you to fight the enemy outside, you got to fight the enemy within. And that's doubt, comparing yourself to other people and everybody's lifestyle, overthinking. You got to learn how to suppress your emotions, or your emotions going to suppress you. My thing is this. You got to learn how to crucify your flesh in private before your flesh crucifies you in public. You got to be greater than your own sins and tell yourself, I am the great I am. Because who believed in Malcolm X before he was a thug pimp and a hustler? He had to believe in himself. We got to do the same thing. We called Jacob for a reason. We were called Yashrala for a reason. Though everybody is dying around us, who's going to live for us? We got to start living for ourselves, each other. Stop being selfish with our lives. Stop being selfish with our talents. And really dig in and bring home that Christ within you, even if you're a female. Bring in that inner Judith within you. You got to slay the white man just as much as we slay the white man. Getting up is a war. Getting up every day to put on that same game face. That's war. That's conditions of war. Now, what is war? You mind reading that for me, sir?
What is war? War is a conflict between different groups.
Now, these different groups, it's not always black and white. It could be within your own household. It could be within your own relationship. Keep going.
War is a conflict between different groups, often nations or states, that involve the use of armed force. It typically arises from political, territorial, or ideological disputes.
Now, these disputes often happens from different people with different ideologies, different walks of life. How was you raised? One person might have been raised more uppity than another person, or one person might be considered ghetto. But we all know the Jews live in the ghetto. So why is that a shameful thing? We just got to change the conditions of how we view the ghetto. Because it's only a project when we allow it to be a project to us, when we allow it to hinder us. You got liquor stores on every corner. Do you have to go to the liquor store? You got a church on every corner. Are they broken? Are they fixing your broken hearts? No, they're not. It's a condition. Keep going.
But can also be fueled by issues like economic resources or religious differences.
Now, these economic resources, it gets stripped from us every day. They give us EBT, even though we create WIC. But these ideologies were stripped for us. We no longer have resources, so what we do? We steal, we rob, we hit licks. Now we kill them for free, just because we feel like it. It's no longer we killing for Jordans. We just kill them because we feel like it. We want to. That's a scary thing. Why should I have to walk around strapped? If I got to go somewhere, I got to bring a gun with me. I don't need to be in that place. Keep going.
Wars can take various forms, including conventional wars with armies and battles, civil wars within a country, and guerrilla wars, irregular warfare.
Now, these civil wars and the guerrilla warfare, you got to know the terrain. What I mean by knowing the terrain, you got to know the conditions that you're in. Where are you capable of? What is your breaking point? What is you going to let society bring you down to? When those haters is whispering in your ear, oh, he can't withstand the storm. You got to whisper back and say, I am the storm. Who the hell are you? Who told you can't withstand a storm? I'll slap my son if he told me he didn't feel like he was good enough. Even though some people might think that's child abuse, it's mental abuse when you tell them you're not good enough. You just took a toll on me because I raised you to be better than that. Keep going.
War often results in significant human suffering.
It's human suffering. When you look at the conditions of blacks and brown people, even the Native Americans, you can tell we are a casualty of war. Mental, physical, economical, spiritual. We don't even know how to love one another no more. What is love looking like? How your generation of love looking like? They don't even want love no more. Everything is hit and quit it. I want to hit it and keep going with it. Like, what's wrong with this world? They don't want wives. They want hoes. Like, I don't get it. They want some Amber Roses, bald head skeeters, bops. Who wants a bop? Keep going.
War often results in significant human suffering, destruction of infrastructure, and long-lasting social, economic, and political consequences.
Now, when I say war on infrastructure, I'm talking about the war on y'all, the temple, because the body's the temple. Ultimately, we walk around looking beat up. I had a conversation with somebody on my job. She was like, why are so many different spirits in the liquor store? Like, why do you see so many fights? Because you got to understand, these spirits they have an appetite. So in order for them to feed themselves, they got to feed themselves. They got to be in a spot, in a condition to feed themselves. So that's why they at the stores, acting crazy, getting butt naked, throwing candy, eating chips, stealing. Because those are conditions of that demon. That demon got to feed themselves. So they in an environment where they got to be fed. Keep going.
While some wars are fought for liberation or defense, others are driven by conquest, power, or control.
So you got to learn how to take control. Not of just our nation, but ourselves, our inner needs. Your inner demons. What is it that you're going through? What is it that you're fighting? You're not alone. Just because you in a season of isolation, that's your season of elevation. You look at it as depression. I look at it as you about to graduate. This is graduation season. Just like Kanye said, this is my graduation season. It's levels to it. And each time you grow, your devil get stronger. Each time you about to get that blessing, your troubles get stronger. But that don't mean you stop and give up. You keep going. Don't push the whoa button. Push the I'm out to grow button. Keep going. Now, the next segment we're going to talk about is what is spiritual warfare, because there's different aspects of war. It's not just physical. It's mental. War is 80% mental, 20% physical. It's just like sports. That's what separates the Kobe's from the Nobies. Keep going.
What's spiritual warfare? Spiritual war or spiritual warfare refers to the belief in an ongoing battle between good and evil forces in a spiritual or metaphysical realm.
See, how would you know if you're good if you're not faced with evil? Because the Lord is not tempted with evil. He's not tempted with temptation. In order for you to know you align, you got to have a gazelle in front of you. That's how you know if you align or not. How you know if you a shark if you don't see a fish? You got to know. You got to go through some things. Through great tribulation, the kingdom is won. You got to go through some things. You got to test yourself. You got to be tested. You got to walk through that fire and not be burned. Instead of walking through that fire and being burned, you got to walk through that fire and multiply. Be gold. Be the golden child the Lord called you to be. Keep going.
Often described in religious or philosophical traditions.
Skip it, Christianity.
Let's skip that part.
Yeah, go ahead. Go.
Spiritual warfare is viewed as a struggle against the forces of darkness or evil, Satan and his demons.
And instead of Satan and his demons, it's Satan and your demons. Because meanwhile, Satan is having a conversation with you, but he's also talking to the demons that's live with inside you. You got to be careful about who you forming yourself to, who you bounding yourself to. Women shouldn't be bounding themselves to multiple men. Those are multiple demons. That's why women are so confused now. You have too many soul ties. You're not cutting off your loose ends. You're not trimming that fat. You think you're going to win by a lot of men validating you. You got to validate yourself. You already lost the battle once you see validation from other people. You got to see what's important within you. What is it that you bring to the table? You more than a piece of meat. You got to be like a piece of me. And what I mean by that, you got to be a rib, a piece of me. Keep going.
While believers are encouraged to rely on God's power, prayer, and faith to resist these influences.
That's why God said, blessed is the he that readeth. Pray continually. Because if you don't pray, you could go through the world all day. You could grind on your own, live life on your own, get it out the mud like Adam on your own. But without prayer, without that extra oomph, you're not going to make it because you stop believing in your power. You start thinking you can do it by yourself. You think you He-Man. And then you're going to find out that's your the end. Like, keep going.
Let's lock it. This concept emphasizes the idea that beyond the visible physical world, there is a deeper, unseen battle for the human soul, morality and truth.
See, morality and truth. What would get you out of your moral comfort zone? Is it money? Is it women? Because the majority of the time, people might think that most Israelite men only do this for the gains of having multiple. I want multiple blessings. I want multiple lessons. I don't do this for multiple gains. I do this because it's right. It conditioned me to be more disciplined. I don't care about nothing else. If I didn't have the kingdom and somebody else did, you could use me for a sacrifice. I'm not tripping because I know somebody else better deserve that position. I'm going to keep going just so the other person can win. Even if I lose, I'm going to push that boy to the back. And even if I'm in sin and I'm messing up, but I'm going to keep doing it for the next man and the next man and the next man. And that's what we got to keep doing for each other. Just because you down, man, pick one up. Grab a hand. Each one grab a hand. You got two hands for a reason. You got to grab somebody on this side and this side. Who you going to take with you? Don't just take your family, take the whole village. That's going to really test who you are as a man. And that's really gangster. Gangster is when you take care of your family. That's why the Lord said, if you love me, feed my sheep. And if you love me, clothe them. That's why some of y'all about to eat at this dinner table. It's a spiritual dinner table. Y'all just don't see it yet. But we all about to eat. Keep going.
Spiritual warfare can involve personal struggles with temptation, sin, doubt, and fear.
Now, these temptations are not always physical. It could be mental. You can be tempted in many ways, multiple ways, not just on the physical. It don't have to always be lust. You might have to be tempted in playing the game on the Sabbath. You might be tempted of, who knows, a bad girl walking to you. Let's go to the movies. But she bad as hell. You always want one like that. She's like, let's go. I pay for it. You not a saying though. She paying for it. She don't know about the truth. The Lord might tip you in that way. Are you smelling like some delicious food? Next thing you know, they cook it in the wrong fish oil, but it smells good as hell. Well, you might be tempted with that. Temptation come in different forms. They ain't got to be lustful.
As well as broader societal challenges like injustice or moral decay. Tools for spiritual warfare in many religious contexts include prayer, fasting, scripture, meditation, and moral integrity.
Right, because this battlefield is not just physical, it's also mental. You got to battle things in high places that you cannot see. They're invisible. That's why it's good to talk to your inner spirit, your inner man. Because the more you feed him, the more he's going to feed you. And in return, you're going to feed your family. You're going to feed your friends. Because a good name is far beyond rubies. What you going to leave behind? What's your legacy going to look like when it's all said and done? Who they going to say who you was? Are you just going to wrestle with your past continuously? Oh, I can't do this because they said this about me. What do you say about yourself? Oh, I can't do this because they think I'm evil. They think I'm mean. Are you mean? No. Give a damn about what they say. They say I wasn't a good husband. Joke's on them. I'm the best. Keep going.
It's often seen as part of an individual's internal journey towards spiritual growth, protection, and alignment with divine will.
Now, this divine will, you got to perfectly align yourself with the Most High. Not just yourself, not just your husband. Your husband got to align himself with the Most High God. And in return, Christ's going to align him with the Father. Because you got to go through Christ first. Woman, you got to submit yourself to your husband. The same way you submitting, your husband submitting too. Because he's submitting to a higher power. It's a give and take from both ends. Keep going. Well, let's get to these precepts. I'm gonna keep going. Y'all about this shit. I'm just getting started. So let me get Lamentations 4:1.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 1. How is gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed?
Now, how does this gold become dim? How does it become changed? When we started seeking validation from these other nations, we started thinking to ourselves that our black is not beautiful, even though that's not what they're saying, but this is definitely what this is saying. Because we became dim by putting on the Americans' clothing, their way of viewing each other, their way of viewing you. Keep going.
How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street.
Now these stones is poured out because these stones is in the ghettos. These stones become rusty. These stones is no longer rubies. These stones is lacking value. That's like when you're trying to return a car back from the lot and you got damages on it. So now it's starting to depreciate. Like that gold is starting to tarnish. So now it's not worth nothing when you try to sell it back at the gold spot. Every last one of us becomes this damn gold once we started losing our way. We start losing our royalties. Start looking at America as if they're gold. You're golden. That's why they kidnap you at a higher rate. A black baby have a high mortality rate than any race. A black child being delivered by white nurses, they have a high mortality rate. Mortality rate. Slakia, you a smart man. That's why you're reading for me. But they have a higher rate being delivered from white nurses. It's a battle trying to become alive. It's a battle to go to work every day, even though you don't want to. It's a battle to keep fighting and keep going. When you lose somebody, it's a battle. But their memory live on within you. You got to keep going for them. You don't stop right there. Keep going for them. They believed in you. How well are you going to believe in yourself to keep going? Don't cry for me. Smile for me. Like Tupac said, keep your head up because the battle is not done yet. It's not won yet. Spiritually, it's already won. Like the Lord said, it's done. And Daniel, it's done. But physically, we got to catch up to that spiritual realm and keep fighting. Keep going.
Verse 2. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold. How are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter?
How we get reduced to nothing? That's basically what he's saying. How you get reduced to nothing? How you let this propaganda, warfare, condition of these animalistic heathen called Edom tell you nothing? You're potter break. Pitchers break. You throw it on the floor, it won't even last. But gold doesn't. It can withstand water, all kind of elements. Because we know pressure, high pressure creates diamond. We know that. We got to start tapping into our power that's within us. We start having one-on-one times with our inner God. Start talking to Christ. Tell him about your problems, your woes, what you're going through. Stop trying to face it alone. Keep going.
Even the sea monsters draw out the breast.
It's like drop that. Let me get Exodus 4:22.
The book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn.
Well, keep this in mind. The Lord loves you at the end of the day. This is the perfect war story. The prince is coming back to get his queen. Ultimately, he coming back to get his son's his daughter. The Lord said, you're my firstborn. Yeah, I see these other nations. Yeah, they might be talking to me, but I'm talking to you. I'm flirting with you. You gonna flirt back? What you gonna do? You gonna give up the goods to them, or you gonna give it back to me? Let me get Hosea 11 and 1.
Book of Hosea, chapter 11, verse 1. Israel is an empty vine. He bringeth forth fruit unto himself.
No, 11 and 1.
Salakia, 11, verse 1. When Israel was a child, then I loved him.
I hate him.
Then I loved
The
him.
Lord said he loved you. You know what that looked like? To have the person who created stars, heaven, and earth say he loved you? That's greater than any man's love. So that's better than my biological dad's love. Keep going.
As they called them, Salakia, when Israel was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt.
See, the Lord calls you out of Egypt for a reason. He didn't call you out to be back in bondage, even to be in the bondage within your own mind. You got to start breaking the shackles. Break your own generational curses. Be the black sheep within your family, in your household. Let me get Exodus 15 and 3. But the thing is, you got to start learning the Father, who he is. Because he also is a man of war. In order for you to understand the conditions that we're in, you got to understand the Father and how he thinks. Keep on.
The book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 3. The Lord is a man of war.
He's a man of pillows.
The Lord is a man of war.
He's a man of tissue.
The Lord is a man of war.
He ain't doing no crying. Lord said, I'm a man of war. He told Job, man, gird up thy loins. Stop pillow talking to me. Speak like a man, bro. Control your emotions. It's okay to have a weak moment, but that weak moment, they gotta break you down to where you being feminine. They talking about you, so you talk back? Let them talk. Give them something to talk about. Matter of fact, put on a show. Let the party die. That's what Kitcher said. Party gotta die. Let it die. Let it die and end with you. Because jokes is on them at the end of the day. Because you ain't got to be a hater. You ain't got to return that favor. They bashing you. You ain't got to bash them back. Be at peace with all men if possible. I don't consider nobody in Israel my enemy. I don't give a damn how much you don't like me. I love the Lord that much, for I won't even make you my enemy. Because you're not that important, bro. You're not. Israel go through so much, all this bickering about pictures and all this other stuff. Give a damn about no picture. I only care about if you make it. How you gonna handle that quarrel? Are you gonna make amends with your brother? That's what I care about. Are y'all gonna shake it up, dap it up afterwards? That's more important. We over here fighting over females, pictures. Man, fight over the inner you. Get to know you. Date yourself. Keep going.
The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name.
You see, that's his name. We arguing about what's his name. He's telling you who his name is in his essence. He's telling you who he is. I'm God the terrible. I'm not God the soft. Not God the timid. I'm God the terrible. Boy, I'm terrible. I'll whoop that ass and smile at you at the same time. He's that terrible. You think the Joker was bad because he was burning money? The Lord would burn the whole village and then spit on your face and tell you to get back up. Do it again. Come on, bro. You want to play with that power? Sheesh. Drop that. Let me get Luke 22 and 31. No. I'm jumping the gun. Let me get 2nd Ezra 7:56.
You said 2nd Ezra what?
7:56.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 56. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.
See, we don't consider life after death. We want to go about our life thinking everything all good. This YOLO mentality. Until that yo-yo come back and whoop that ass. Now your mentality is in hell. Now you in jail. Burn it. Burn it, man. You think icy hot is something that hot and cold. No, this is going to be hot and hot. Keep going.
Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle.
See, this is the condition of the battle. This is the battlefield. I used to think about this in my bedside. What is life is truly about? Everything is a battle. It's about how you maneuver, how you think, how you feel. What is it that you do when faced with adversity? Like, what is it that you're going to do? What you going to allow to break you? What are you going to allow to define you? These are the conditions of the battle. Are you going to keep going? Are you going to break? Or are you going to fold? We got to learn how to be like water. Ultimately, the Lord is water. The word was water. He became every form. He became the greatest example known to mankind. The greatest example. The greatest general sacrificed himself. Became formless. You think if the Lord was here, he'd be on Instagram? He'd be TikToking, doing some TikTok dances, shooting dice in the bathroom with the homies? Come on, man. Y'all making a mockery. You think he will have joy, people dissing each other? That's how you know rap is the greatest genre if y'all arguing about who about to perform on the Super Bowl. But they let them tell it hip hop is nothing. They not like us. You damn right they're not like us. Who's like Israel? But the thing is, we use that against each other. Like, come on, man, we are our greatest enemies. You want to dance to this damn song. Like, that's why I hate the song so much. Because it still brings another black man down. Like, come on, man. You dancing to your own demise? That's stupid as hell. Like, get it together. I remember I seen this video of a white woman speeding, and she have a black boyfriend. But the officer, he pulled a car over. Instead of him getting on a white girl head, he got the black dude out the car. It said he was speeding. No, you did that to that girl. You told her to speed up. I'm like, damn. When are we going to get the clue? It's either we going to have snow bunnies or no bunnies. Like, come on, man. Let's get it together. You got, what's his name? Jonathan Majors running from this white woman. He still got persecuted. He's running from a white woman. A black man don't even run from a black woman. But yet alone, he running from a white woman? My God. Do they really got that much power? Keep going.
Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
See, we got to fight. The Lord said we ain't got to make, we ain't here just to make love. Love is wonderful when it's unconditional, but not when it's under conditions. The hell is that? You love me because I do something for you? Israel, you is weak. You only love God because he do something for you? Because he give you gifts? Do it because it's right. It's the right thing to do. I ain't in this truth for no damn gifts. I'm in it because it's the right thing to do. I don't give a damn about the accolades and the name and the titles. I don't care about that, bro. I care about your soul. What is you sacrificing? What do you have on the line? The Lord put his life on the line. What are you putting on the line? Everybody want gifts and all this talents and stuff to do what with it? Just to make a name for yourself? Put God back on the map. I don't care about your name in Israel. Come in the name of Hamashiach Yahweh's name. Then I respect you. Keep going.
That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say.
The Lord said, you still gonna get the promises. Dust your shoes off. Pick your feet up. Stop dragging your feet. You got to tell your son every day, stop dragging your feet. Pick your feet up. Do the march, man. You want to march for we shall overcome. Overcome your troubles. your inner woes. Overcome that. March for that. You want to march for freedom. Free your mind. Then march. Free your community. Then march. Going to the liquor store getting a fifth, a Henny. Getting blunt wraps. I ain't never seen nobody go to the store so much and get so many blunt wraps, man. Lips be chapped as hell. Talk about let me get a swisher. Let me get 2 Black and Miles, my man. You know I gotta get my fix. Man, fix your spirit. Damn your fix. Like, come on, licking and spitting on you. Meanwhile, you rolling up. You indirectly kissing another man because you gotta lick it, burn it, light it, and then give it off to your partner. You indirectly swapping spit. I don't know what the hell you doing back at home. Cause I heard your girl was a come on now. I'm gonna keep it ready PG-13. There's kids up in here. I don't want y'all judging me too soon. Keep going.
For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived.
You see, even Moses spoke about this. The conditions of war. Choose life, you will live. But if you choose death or evil, you'll just get just that. You'll get the other side of God, the Old Testament God that people's afraid of. That's the Old Testament God. No, God is God all the way around. You want to talk about God is love? Yeah, he loved to give you a hard time and chastise those that he loved. That's what love is. If I don't love you, I'm going to let you go off. Like, come on, bro. Why would I let you go off? Hey, bro, don't do that. Like, how many times God got to keep warning us? Hey, man, don't do that. He went from a whisper to him picking up his tone, to then grabbing the belt, threatening us, to then whooping that ass. And now we turn it back on God just like this. Like, what we going to do? Like, well, is it fair to God? No, it's not fair to him. Like, come on, man. What we doing? Keep going.
Saying, choose thee life, that thou may live. Nevertheless, they believed not him.
See, y'all didn't believe. I didn't believe my damn self because I'm still here on earth. Obviously, I didn't believe. Keep going.
Nevertheless, they believed him not.
See, y'all believed him not. Because why? Because Israel always want a sign. That ass whooping was that sign. Keep going.
Nor yet the problems after him.
See, y'all to consider the problems that's going to come next. We don't think about the next generation. We're not just living for ourselves. We're living for the next generation to come. We pretty damn selfish when we just think about ourselves. We want our cake and eat it too. I want my cake and split it with the homies. Split it with my nation. That's a real cake maker. A real cake maker, when you baking, you got to think about the layers. If you want it moist, how you want it. You know what I'm saying? Just like 7-Up cake. You got to think about that icing. You know what I'm saying? You got to put your arm, your wrist game into it. Not only just to cook crack. You got to bake it up, make it look good, make it sound good, make it smell good. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? I wish I can bake. Okay. We're going to talk about that next lifetime. Let's go.
No, nor me, which have spoken unto them. You want verse 61?
No, you can drop that one. Let me get Ephesians 6 and 12.
Book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
So we wrestle not against flesh and... Read that again? Flesh and blood. See, a lot of us is doing too much tussling. You want to tussle, man. You got to get down. You got to get ugly. Sometimes you got to pop out and show demons. Certified holy man. I'm the one up to score with him. Like, come on. You got to be the boogeyman to your boogeymans. You going to let these demons win? You going to tap out now, king, queen? And the Lord believe in you more than you believe in you. When you going to start believing in yourself? This is a chink in your armor. You're not as hot as you think you was. Because every time you face with a little bit of problems, your whole day becomes ruined. But meanwhile, it's a greater power just calling your name. Hey, look up over here. Hey, I got you. I got you. Hey, stop looking over there. I got you. Because every time the world say no, it's the Lord that's saying yes. Just because you didn't get that job position, oh well, they don't deserve you. Move on to the next. That girl didn't accept you. She didn't choose you. Oh well, move on to the next. You getting closer to your actual end goal. Like, who cares, bro? These rejections made me better. I got denied so many times. I thought my name was denied. They called me no good all the time. I thought I was damn no good. Like that became my nickname because I was a troublemaker growing up. I used to get in trouble all the time. Fighting. Class clown. Then I told myself, and I used to do it just to get my dad's attention because he wasn't coming around. But then I told myself, am I going to really be this man? My mom asked me, are you going to be everything they think you are? Or are you going to show them who you are? It's just like the Black Panther little quote where she was like, show them who you are. And the claws came out. And that kinetic energy came out. And he showed them. And that was my breaking point. When I decided to be a better, greater man. I said, damn what society had to say. Damn these white teachers. They used to think I wasn't brilliant. Until I got them damn A's. Like, come on, man. We got to be greater than the opposition. We got to be greater than our weaknesses that we set upon ourselves. Keep going.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
You want some water?
I got you. Appreciate it. Right, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
Now, these powers is the powers we allow to have control over us. That's the only time they become powers. When we allow this possession to possess us. I'm going to say that again. When we allow this possession to possess us, we allowing these powers to have authority over us. You mean to tell me you're going to let another man rule over you who doesn't have your best interests? You're going to try to appease him? Come on, man. What the Lord say? As a man thinketh, so is he. Like, damn. At least have some type of pushback, some type of fight. Now you're just giving up the cheeks. Good one.
Against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Con. Now, war is 80% mental and 20% physical, the same as in sports. The truth is that what separates the top athletes from the rest is how they use their in-between eyes, which is ultimately their mind. The brain is more powerful than most people understand, and how athletes conduct themselves in the field. Their use of body language, the way they think and talk to themselves. You got to learn how to have better affirmations for yourself. You're just like the gorillas, that Glorilla song. Yeah, glow, stomping, some shell talk. Like Gorilla is ultimately saying affirmations to herself. Yeah, glow, like she believing in herself. You got to start believing and saying good, positive affirmations towards yourself. I can do it. I will do it. I will achieve. I will be great. I will succeed. You got to start saying those things. Not I will be my past. I will overthink. I will be nothing. I will let other people define me. Define yourself. And understand how athletes conduct themselves in the field and use body language in the way they think to talk to themselves, including how they handle negative, intuitive thoughts. We got to do better with the way we think towards ourselves and not just each other, but towards ourselves. When those intrusive thoughts come in, you got to learn how to battle them, man. You got to say, Like Matumbo, no. You got to block that. You got to run them negative thoughts down like LeBron James be doing on the court. You got to block that, man. What the hell wrong with y'all? I I'm sorry, man. I just get pumped up because I can't stand with y'all people. We be dwelling in this weakness, man. The Lord geared you and made you for a reason. He said you strong. He said you powerful. I know the thoughts I think towards you is peace, happiness, joy. Why the hell you thinking negative thoughts about fear and what's going to happen next? He said, don't think about tomorrow. I got your tomorrow planned out for you. Why the hell you think about tomorrow? Oh, if I don't get this, then I ain't going to. No, bro, calm down. Breathe. Learn how to breathe. Do some push-ups. Will make a huge difference in the game. Not to mention the final score. War involves both physical and psychological dimensions. You can start right
there. Number one, physical aspect. The physical side of war, battles, weaponry, tactics, and direct combat.
Now we're gonna talk about weaponry. Our weaponry will be, if my brothers go through it, I go through it. Our weaponry will be each other because we're the Lord's battle axe, ultimately. Our weaponry will be prayer. We gotta develop a better prayer game. Have a better prayer closet. I ain't talking about you questionable transformers that be in that closet. You know them pastors, the one that be swinging their hips. We ain't talking about them. Our weaponry will be how we think towards each other. What's our end goal? What's your short term and long term? You say that in a relationship, but what is that for yourself? What does that look like for yourself? You give everybody these qualifications, but what is your qualifications for you? Are you meeting these goals and expectations? Or is it one-sided? You going?
The physical side of war, battles, weaponry, tactics, and direct combat remains critical. In conventional warfare, a large part of the conflict revolves around the movement of troops.
Pause. The movement of troops. When you look at chess, you ultimately win by the way you maneuver your troops, how you deal with each person in the battlefield. That's everybody in here. We got to be better about how we move each other in here, how we set each other up for victory up within in here in MOTC. And then that way it shows it with other people. Like when we go to battle, how we conduct ourselves. We got to learn how to maneuver our chess pieces. This person's not great over here, but she's good at decorating. This brother can't read because he can't even enunciate, but he can teach stuff. We got to learn how to know our players, develop a better team, and start thinking for us, not just for yourself, but start thinking for the team. Keep going.
Destruction of enemy forces and securing territory. Number two, mental and psychological aspect. The mental dimension of war, however, plays an equally crucial role. This includes strategic planning, morale, propaganda.
Now, this propaganda and this fear, because we already know America's afraid of black men and what would happen if we was decide to take over. The Lord said we're going to take back the kingdom. You got to stop thinking that we're not winning. We are winning. Because those same snares that they used against us, ultimately, it's leading to their demise because the white people was dying at a rapid rate with the same tactic they used on us. They're dying out. They the ones shooting each other up. They the ones poisoning themselves. Organic is quite not so organic. It's not. It's GMO at the end of the day. Why? Because the earth is defiled. Like the Lord said, we're going to eat our defiled food, our defiled meat. Because blood was shed. The Lord want that black in blood. The Lord was that first Kushaisty. He was that little dirt talk about back in blood. The Lord been saying, I want that back in blood, man. Why y'all playing with God? Like he won't pootie tang that pootie. Keep going.
This includes strategic planning, morale, propaganda, fear, and psychological operations aimed at undermining the enemy's will to fight.
You see, we gotta start dividing the enemy within the enemy. In order for us to take on the battles to come, Out there, we got to take upon the battles to come within here. Even within our community, our camps, our respective camps, whether you, whatever camp, whatever you decide to bond yourself with, you got to start taking upon those aspects to become better within your own realm and your own society in order for us to take upon what's going on in the world. Because when stuff hit the fan, is you still gonna be a fan? Meaning, is you still gonna be around for the Lord? When stuff get tough, what happens when you can't eat? You gonna say, F that, I'm eating some pork? If that's the only thing available, that's why you start conditioning yourself to fast now. Eating is a luxury for me. I always set aside time to put myself in a position where I can't eat. That's why I started eating once a day, just in case it happened. I could be mentally prepared. What are you prepared for? What are you willing to partake in or to handle? You got to learn your weaknesses before it even happens. That's why I think like a general. I got to set up my kid to win. Why can't my son make it in Yale? With all this yelling this world be doing to him, why he can't make it to Yale? Keep going.
For soldiers, mental endurance, focus, and emotional resilience are essential for survival.
See, that emotional resilience, you got to have that dog in you. Just because women is made to be emotional, you ain't got to be. It's by choice. Just because they say you got a big head, you got to reverse that. It's crown size. It's big because it's fit for a king. You got to learn how to combat those differences, man. Be the polar opposite. Girl, you better embrace that big head. You skinny, yeah. You can fit in many spots. Baby, get that over there. Come on now. Embrace your flaws. Embrace the things that make you different, man. We Israel for a reason. Embrace if you can't throw a football. At least you can catch one. You can catch your mans when he down. That's what them short hands is for. To catch a short person when he down. I got you, my brother. Hey, man, I love these little hands. Love them little hands. Speak life into your man. Speak life into each other, man. You see your dude hair looking nappy. You gonna let him walk out like that. You ain't gonna fix it. I got you. Come here. You know when grandma be like, let grandma get that. You gotta go get that. Don't just leave it up to grandma. Don't just leave it up to Gigi. You gotta have that same grandmother love, man. Keep going.
The idea that war is predominantly one or the other doesn't fully capture its complexity. In some conflicts, psychological or strategic elements, such as deception or information warfare, can outweigh the physical.
Now, the deception is that you losing, that you ain't nothing, that you're not greater, that you can't have good credit. Instead of them saying, hurry up and buy, they say, nigga, you can't afford it. That's a condition. You think you can't afford it. You can't, afford it. Our spending power is much greater when we together. I remember I seen it on like Instagram. It was a black business going out. Bunch of black people decided to come together to go set up shop there and buy up all her product. Now she's back in business. That's the power of what we can do when we together. But what we do, no, nigga, it's just me, man. I'm trying to get it on my own, man. I'm trying to get out the mud. Nigga, get it, fend for yourself, nigga. You were short, right? You were short. Come on, man. Crabs in the barrel. It's time to break the barrel. Stop being a crab because it's an unclean animal. Keep going.
For instance, during the Cold War, psychological and ideological battles were as critical as the threat of physical conflict. Similarly, guerrilla warfare or cyber warfare may involve less direct physical confrontation, but heavily rely on mental strategy and psychological tactics.
See, a real general would bring forth less casualties. He will start thinking for a community with less casualties. Like the scriptures say, you got to start building on stony ground. Your soil is starting to not look like soil. Even though soil and dirt look the same, depending on who's planting it. Because Dirt look like soil, but ultimately soil is used to fertilize that seed for it to grow. But if you don't think you're building on soil and it's just dirt, it'd be less profitable. That's why sugar and salt look the same. That's why these wheat and tear starting to look the same. Who are you going to be? You going to be salt or you going to be sugar? You going to be a wheat or you going to be tear? You going to be soil or you going to be dirt? You going to be dirt or you going to be gold? Like, which one you going to be? Because dirt produce gold when it's like high levels of minerals. When you start to build upon a foundation, you start to become that fine gold. That's why we made out of this dirt. That's why we're Adamites. That's why a lot of our young brothers talk about getting it out the mud, because we're Adam. We've been getting out the mud. We've been the golden child. Keep going.
So while the physical aspect might be more apparent, the mental side is often just as vital, and the balance depends on the specific nature of the war.
See, it's just as important. Because this is what war do. What war does, now this is the question I pose to everybody. You just answer it in your head. What war does Black Americans face in society? What is it that we go through on the day-to-day, on the regular? Even though we put on all these different faces, but no makeup can make up what is that you're going through. A lot of people that's brokenhearted put on a smile to prevent themselves from crying. But it's okay, because even David, a man of war, he cried. Jeremiah, he was a weeping prophet. He cried. But that don't make you less of a man just because you shed a few tears. This make you less of a man when you give up and you stop believing. Just because these conditions condition you to be weak and less of a man, is because these people is ruling over you. But man, you got to tap into your power, King. You got to be more glorious than the damn light that this world casts upon you. You got to be darker than these. You got to have more light than these dark shadows. Keep going, or you can read that.
Number 1, racial discrimination. Black Americans have long experienced systemic racism, which permeates many aspects of life, including education, employment, housing, and the criminal justice system. This war involves fighting against institutionalized biases that have historically marginalized Black communities.
You see, now white people was born with good credit. Black people, we don't even know what credit, how to even get credit. We think about diamonds and pearls. For the most part, we think that's credit. When you flossing on your mans, just bought that new Bentley, little nigga. F with me. Man, put your mans on, bro. Like, what you doing? You got to break those psychological chains, because we get it and want to floss on the person that's going through the same things we going through. Man, I'm on WIC just like you. I'm on Section 8 just like you. Why are you flossing on me? Go to Beverly Hills and floss with them. Like, come on now. Keep going.
Number 2, economic inequality. Economic disparities between Black Americans and other racial groups persist. Black Americans often face barriers to accumulating wealth, such as lower wages, higher unemployment rates, limited access to affordable housing, and less generational wealth. This economic struggle can be seen as a form of economic warfare in which Black communities are disproportionately disadvantaged.
See, we're already disadvantaged. So why go against yourself when we already at a disadvantage? Why not the hustle? Why sell crack? Why sell weed? We already at a disadvantage. So why do we fight ourselves? Why do we fight each other? And with that, this is short and cute. I say shalom, because it's 3 parts to it. It's 3 parts. It's 3 parts. It's part 1. This is just the intro. I don't want to jump the gun.